6 new instances, new quests, some new craftable armor, including legendary, and a whole lot more to talk about. So let's jump on in. With the Celestial Throne update about to drop on Thursday, I wanted to talk a little bit about what to expect, what not to expect, and also to discuss where you can start unlocking these instance dungeons once you get into it. In the Celestial Throne patch notes version 1.1, the Celestial Throne has descended. The team has been working away, and we're thrilled to introduce our largest patch yet. The biggest addition to Zenith in this patch is the concept of instance dungeons and raids. In addition to overworld content, you can join forces with other Zenithians and tackle 3 dungeons and 3 raids in private instances. One thing I do want to talk about here in this first blurb is that they talked about fixing the speed flying bug. So those who were using the strafe bug to, super speed, super fly, it's not a thing anymore. Another thing to note is that they've been working on nerfing Mage Tank. So right now, due to a bug with certain Essence Mage Tank abilities giving 100% lifesteal and an infinite shield, we know that Essence Mage Tank is overpowered in many situations. We are looking for ways to shift the balance so that EM Tank is still really fun and plays the same, but is more in line with other class utility. Ideally, we'd like to reduce the lifesteal percentage and make the shield not last as long. As of the release of this patch note, we still haven't come up with a way to do this, as the change is not trivial and we wanted to get this out a week before launch. But in the interest of transparency, please note that there will be additional balancing changes. Reduced Essence Mage Tank Culling Beam max damage and reduced the ammo refill rate from 6.6 seconds to 8 seconds, and more to come. Added 2.5% stagger damage to fully charged Essence Mage DPS searing shots. So Essence Mage DPS now gets additional damage. Increased the experience gained from repeatable quests by 20%. So this is kind of big. The new dungeon instances work like this. You undertake a breadcrumb quest and then an unlock quest for the dungeon in the appropriate zones. This unlock quest will have you do a soloable version by killing enemies and charging an artifact. Once unlocked, you will get a quest to kill the final boss in said instance. After you have finished all 3 dungeon boss kill quests and are level 40, you will be able to take a quest from the Surveyor in Southern Sky Song to climb the Celestial Throne, and in doing so, unlocking fast travel points along the way, followed by the first 8-player raid. The raids work similar to the dungeons, except you do not need to charge an artifact to attune to the next raid, but you must meet the gear eye level requirement in order to participate. Simply clear the first boss with the quest in hand from the Surveyor, and the second raid will unlock. Do the same for the second raid boss with the Surveyor's next quest, and the third will unlock. Roulette options exist, as well as daily and weekly bonuses for clears, and the materials needed for the new epic and legendary armor sets will come from the dungeons and raids. The first dungeon is the Forsaken Reliquary, which has a breadcrumb quest at the Skysong Summit Elder, who sends you to Finch in the Obsidian Fortress to get the unlock quest. This dungeon is roughly level 20 to 25 content, and is a great way to speed along leveling in the mid-game. The second dungeon is the Seething Depths, which has a breadcrumb quest at Kai in the Tangled Cove, who sends you to himself at the Radiant Coast to get the unlock quest. This dungeon is roughly 26 to 32 content, and while not as beneficial for EXP, can be a good source of equipment. The third dungeon is the Vault of the Ancients, which has a breadcrumb quest at Amani in Ruler's Reach, who sends you to herself at Emerald Desert to get the unlock quest. This dungeon is roughly 37 to 40 content, and can serve as a source of gear when preparing for the raid requirements. The first raid is the Infernal Core, and provided you meet the item level requirement to enter, you and 7 other players will be treated to an encounter filled with rapidly respawning enemies, environmental traps, and several challenging puzzles. The second raid is the Pillar of the Architect, which is a little more laid back than the first, And while there are some mechanics within this raid that make it more difficult to clear with credit, it's the more fun of the two that I was able to sample. The third raid is the Defiled Gardens, and while I got item level gated before I got a chance to unlock it, I've heard that the Defiled Gardens is worthy of being the final tier raid, being more challenging than either of the others. Now, when it comes to armor, finding rares in dungeons and raids are ideal because it requires no investment. But there are 4 new sets of craftable armor for each class at levels 42, 47, 43, and 50. Essence Mage has the sets of Ancient Magician at 42, Primalist at 47, Wandering Wizard at 43, and Astromancer at level 50. Blade Master has the sets of Ancient Hero at 42, Myrmidon at 47, Dragon Hunter at 43, and Dark Omen at 50. The materials for these, as stated earlier, will come from raids, dungeons, dailies, and weeklies. And in addition to this, there are going to be artifact weapons, presumably legendary or equivalent for each class and role that will be upgradable down the line, accessible from an NPC to be named, although rumor has it that Mika will have a hand in this. A couple of honorable mentions include the addition of a left-handed mode, as well as an upgraded smooth turning, which now has a sensitivity slider. And while I still wouldn't recommend it on 72 Hz, at 2x or 2.5x, it seems to be much more to my liking. Thanks for watching, Zenithian. Make sure to hit that like button if you want to support the channel. Subscribe to get more videos like this, and I'll see you in the world of Zenith.